Welcome, everyone, to TJ and the Grumpy Old Man. I'm your host, TJ, and with me here, as always, is the Grumpy Old Man. They say there's no shame to his game because he's always the same.
That's me.
Getting a late start to this show today. We're running
What a
across.
shock! I've been ready for an hour and 10 minutes.
I've been ready as well, Grumpy. We ran across a plethora of technological issues. That is why SunX will not be joining us here this evening. He ran across a lot of tech issues. We tried to go ahead and troubleshoot.
While there were tech issues, what time did you send the email to get ready on the show? Do you know? I do. 8:34. 8:34. The podcast is supposed to start at 8. 8:34 is when you sent the notification.
Doubtful, Grumpy. Doubtful.
I have it right here. I'll take a screenshot and send it to you. And then you can post it and just show your failure.
Oh, man. Well, the reason why we are an hour late is because we ran across some tech issues. We were trying to get SunX on the show. What, Grumpy?
It's not the reason. You were not ready for the first, again, 35 minutes before you even sent the invite. 35 minutes. 34 minutes to be exact.
Oh, goodness gracious, Grumpy.
Now, X is having issues. It's like, just move on. Let's just move on. I don't want to start doing a podcast at 4 o'clock in the morning. Let's go.
So, yes, we are an hour late to the show. Grumpy is a little cranky, I'm sure. Don't worry, though. Grumpy's just been able to stare off into that distance to the left where he doesn't watch TV per the usual. So he's been it's not like he was over here sitting there twiddling his thumbs. He was able to make use of his time. But for those of you who are new to the channel, welcome. This is a twice a week all sports podcast where we talk anything and everything sports. We go ahead and talk. We talk NFL, we talk MLB, we talk NHL, we talk NBA, we talk college athletics, we talk world football, aka soccer here in the States. We talk anything and everything sports on the show. Live every single Thursday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and every Sunday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you're new to the channel, there's a few things that are imperative that you do. It's imperative.
Sunday at 9, Thursday at 10.
It's imperative that you, number one, subscribe to the YouTube channel to make sure you don't miss out on any of the further content. And also like the video, right? Because apparently that helps the algorithm. It helps get this fun time of just shooting the shit and talking sports out to the masses. So, for those of you who are, new to the channel, welcome. Make sure, again, you subscribe on YouTube, like on Facebook. Today, we got quite a few things to talk about here, Grump, per the usual. We've got a lot of NFL news and updates to talk. We've got some college athletics to talk about. We've got some world football, aka soccer, here in the States that we're going to go ahead and talk about. We've got some farewells to talk about as well. Buck Showalter out as the Mets manager here for this next year.
He said he didn't want to come back next year. And
How much do you think?
I don't know. The players all came out and gave him like a big ovation when he handed out his final lineup card. So it tells me the players liked him. I don't think he was fired. I think he resigned.
I don't know, Grump. I think that's kind of up in the air. Maybe it was mutual.
Don't you just say that at the end of the year as opposed to before the last game?
I think they're kind of like, we're going to separate ways. This is it.
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't believe
we'll
so.
Talk about, I definitely do have the, I've got the video, right, of them kind of sending him off.
Yeah. Okay, good. I mean, you got to remember, they're having a new general manager come in. So it's not like the same group is saying, okay, well, we're getting rid of you. It's a new GM is coming in. I just think he stepped down. That's all.
Yeah, I again, from what I had read, it sounded like a mutual of parting ways.
Oh, maybe
like Laviolette stepped away from coaching the Washington Capitals. They were not bringing Laviolette back either, so it was like a mutual parting of ways. And I think that's what's happened with Buck Showalter. But I'm not sure. That's the way
Laviolette at the last game didn't say, "Hey, I'm not coming back." He didn't do that. That's what Showalter in effect did. Now maybe he didn't want to go in the same direction as the other, as the new GM. That's extremely possible. but I think he just stepped away.
I think Buck Showalter is never going to be a manager again. I think that was it. How old is Buck Showalter?
He's older. I mean, he's up there in age.
That's my point. I think he's done.
I remember when he was the youngster, when he was first hired by the Yankees. I can't even, it's got to be like 35 years ago. Think about that. 30 years ago.
I was about to say here, yeah, because Buck, I got to pull up how old Buck Showalter is, man. He's up there in age. He's 67. Man, he looks a lot older than 67.
Maybe so.
You think he looks 67? I'll pop that up on screen, Grumpy.
Yeah,
he's
pop his picture up. Pop his picture up.
I'll pop up his little official picture here. He looks older than 67.
Probably because his hair is gray, makes you look older.
Well, no, his hair is white. So, I mean, like when I'm looking here at the picture, Buck Showalter's looking older than 67.
Yeah, some of them he looks older than others. Some pictures he looks older than others. He's an older guy. He's no spring chicken anymore.
Yeah. When I see that, I'm like, yeah, okay.
That's not a good picture. There was one picture
the
like top in the middle.
The team, though.
Okay,
that's the official picture for the team. Okay. But yeah, so Buck's on the way out. But we got a lot to talk about today, right? Let's first start off by diving into some football action, some NFL action here. I'm thinking kind of good to talk about some of those earlier games we had today. Let's get up to date with comments now because X is over here. He's still going to be working in the background, starring comments for us. So he's at least going to be able to do that, but he's unable to talk. So, I guess, honestly, Grumpy, we should have had him up there for his video anyway. We should invite him back on. He doesn't do much talking to begin with. And he can just do his
what a slammy on X.
Starring the comments and we'll just I mean he's there, Grumpy. We could just add him in. We just won't be able to hear him. I'm not sure it's going to have really much of an impact there, Grump.
Couldn't he log on with this? He could just come on with his phone, couldn't he?
No, he's no. So it's, I guess he could try to log on for his phone. He was having tech issues with his mic not feeding through on StreamYard. Who the hell knows? Okay. And all it is, it creates a big headache. I'm like, I'm not doing this right now. We'll worry about this another time. So anyway, Drew L says, I don't know what's worse.
Nails on a chalkboard or watching Zach Wilson play quarterback. We want to get the comments read sometime this month. I will do the comments. I read them with inflection. I read them where commas is supposed to be and periods. I read it so people can understand. TJ just is like, the cat is brown and white. So I'm going to do that. Freedom Fundamental says, freaking TJ is too busy making out with his cat to start on time.
That did run us late today.
Did.
And then JP Grump.
The cat is now a witness protection program. JP says, I know D-Cut is probably only trolling, but his comment last night about Wallstrom made me nuts, especially since it is the antithesis, a big word for you, TJ, of the truth, as can be evidenced plainly in the following post. And I guess there's a post that's coming up. Well, just to let you know, there are some memes coming. Here's the post. Here's the post from JP. Anyway, his U17 and U18 coach basically says the sky is the limit for Wally, and he works as hard as anyone and the like. There aren't any, but he's statements from any of his youth coaches. That's right. If we remember, D-Cut said that all of his coaches from the midgets all the way up. No, he said midgets. He didn't say mites. From midgets were all critical of his work ethic and every other thing. I said, I bet you D-Cut did not ask any of those coaches, how many did he contact? The answer by this was none. So that's cool. JPO says, Wallstrom's an elite offensive player. Robluski said, the goal scoring definitely pops out at you, but he's exceptional on the forecheck.
Yeah, I don't doubt it at all.
I just wanted to let somebody else know that X said in the private chat, TJ's reading is the worst. So I just wanted to let everyone know. JP also continues about Oliver Wallstrom. He's had some of the biggest hits of the tournament. He doesn't float around and wait for opportunities. He goes out and makes them. Man, he's pretty good. Joseph C. Okay. Do we want to talk about this now? The Chargers?
Sure. Let's talk a little bit about the Chargers.
This freaking clown should be fired today. I know they won, but he is an absolute moron. I think he tries to lose games.
He almost Staley'd it again.
He almost Staley'd it today. He had 4th and 1 from his own 44-yard line, let's say. 4th and 1 with a 7-point lead, 3.5 minutes to go. 3.5 minutes to go. What would you do in that particular instance? The Raiders have been trailing all game. They had got it to within 7. They were down 27-3 or whatever it was. It was now 27-20. What would you do at this particular time?
I would just go ahead and punt the football.
Not if you're Brandon Staley, you don't. You go and you try to quarterback sneak it. You don't get it. Alex O'Connell, who earlier in the preseason, all those Raider fans are telling us, Alex O'Connell's a real deal. I actually watched him. Yeah, here we go. I actually watched him. Alex O'Connell sucks. He's a freaking backup. He's got no arm. So Alex O'Connell winds up driving him all the way down the field to the 4-yard line, and he throws a big interception on first and with like a minute and a half to go.
Rookie, right?
Yeah. So he throws an interception. Then, okay, the Chargers get the ball. The Raiders have 0 timeouts. 0 timeouts. And there's like a minute 10 to go. 3rd and 10.
Do you first want to watch? I mean, Jesus, do we first want to maybe watch the 4th down, failure there? X, if you can remove that comment there for us. This is the 4th down conversion, right? Just to paint the scene. 3 minutes and 34 seconds left. 4th and 1.
Oh, I'm sorry. It wasn't the 45. It was the 35. Even worse.
Shoved. Nope, I don't think he got it. He did not.
I think that's a kind of shitty spot, to be honest with you.
He didn't get it.
But I know it was a good spot. No, it was kind of a shitty spot.
He was not close.
That was a lot close. He looks almost on that white line. That's all I'm going to say.
When they show the on the line view, right at the line of scrimmage, he's not even close. He's not even close. Not even close.
Okay.
It was it's a dumb play call at your 35. Just dumb. It's just stupid. Alex O'Connell bailed him out by throwing the interception, but Staley still tried to stay lead at the end. You see, they had 1 timeout left, which they kept till the minute 20-something second mark. They stop him on 1st down. It winds up being 3rd down and 10. No timeouts left with 50-something seconds to go. What is the play call for 3rd and 10? What would you do? Or 3rd and 12 from your own 10? What would you do?
I would just run the clock out. Just take another run, take the time off the clock.
And punt, right?
Sure.
Staley, they throw a 45-yard pass down the sideline that Joshua Palmer pushes off, not called by the referee, makes the catch. That saves them. Why the hell would you throw the ball and potentially have an incomplete pass to give them the ball back with, and here's the thing, Staley might even have went for it when he's inside his 10-yard line.
You're talking about right here, right?
Yes.
Yeah, this is the play.
Why?
3rd and 10. There was a minute and 59 seconds left. Yeah.
Why are you throwing the ball here?
Justin Herbert going deep. He's looking for Palmer.
He's pushed off. I mean, who does that? That's just dumb. That's dumb. He got away with it. It's dumb. I wish they'd show the replay where he absolutely pushes off.
Some players get away with that stuff.
This is the first time a coach should have been fired after winning a game. Was today.
He should have been fired last week after losing the game. Well, no, he won last week against the Vikings, didn't he? He almost found a way to lose, but Kirk Cousins threw the interception. He should have been fired last week after the win. This is the first time that a coach in back-to-back weeks deserves to be fired after a win.
He does the same dumb shit week after week. He's a loser. He's a loser. He thinks he's playing video games out there. Oh, well, in Madden, you always go for it on 4th down. You're always going to pick it up. He's a loser. That guy's a moron.
You know what he was? He was watching too much of Jalen Hurts in that Eagles when they do that little formation. They just ramrod Jalen Hurts forward for a 1st down. It works all the time.
What was it called?
But he forgot.
What was that play called before? It wasn't flattering, and the Eagles didn't like it, so they came up with a name. Now they call it the brotherly shove. But I don't know what it used to be called before.
What do you mean?
It used to be, they were calling it something else, but they didn't like the name. They wanted the name. It wasn't positive enough. So they wanted to give it a name. Now they call it the Brotherly, because, Philadelphia, here's a joke. Philadelphia is known as the city of brotherly love. That's ridiculous.
I'm aware.
But so they want to call it the Brotherly Shove.
Brotherly Push is what. Okay. Oh, that's what you're looking at. X even as not participating is here. See, this is why we have you on the show, X. He had to bail. I didn't know Grumpy was like, damn, Grumpy knew about this brotherly shove bullshit or brotherly push. I'm like, I'm kind of shocked, but
it's
X,
the brotherly
I guess
shove.
you get the information from X. It's called the brotherly push, is what X said.
It's not.
I'm trusting X in this
It's called
one.
the Brotherly Shove.
Okay. Anyway. By the way, I've noticed that there's a T-ball player who became an all-pro linebacker. TJ, show the clip. Yes. So this is a little all over the place, but I figured, we talk about sports. We haven't shown a clip of a little kid playing sports in a while. And those are sometimes usually the most fun, where you kind of get to see them, shining, playing some sports there, having a good time. Now, Grumpy, and this is one that I really wanted X to comment on, but we'll just have to assume X used to play T-ball, right, Grump?
Yeah, he also played baseball. Yes, he played T-ball. No, I don't think he ever played T-ball. He played machine pitch was when he first started.
Okay, so that's why I was asking if you played T-ball. So he never played T-ball, but you're familiar, right, Grumpy? You're familiar with T-ball. Everybody's familiar with T-ball. Well, I'll let you watch this little clip. I'm curious if anything like this has ever happened in a T-ball game that you were at.
Oh, geez. Oh, fuck. Jeez, that actually looks like you a little bit, TJ.
Jesus, I like it.
I remember the first time
TJ played that the whole way there.
I remember the first time TJ played soccer, and TJ played soccer like he was a linebacker. He just running over people on the field. He was known as Captain Red Card.
No, I was not. Stop.
Yes, you were.
Was not known as Captain
That's
Red
exactly
Card.
what it looked like. Soccer ball.
I was carrying a baseball bat with me as well. Just happened to fall and trip on somebody.
No baseball bat. No baseball bat.
I thought I was going to carry the ball bat.
Wow, lowered the shoulder and everything.
He does like a sprawling like a lunge or a tackle on the girl. So yeah, Joseph C. Grumpy.
Herbert threw a 50-yard dime to a wide receiver with a broken finger, by the way, but to his bet. Okay, he had the injury to his non-throwing hand. So I'm not saying it didn't hurt, but it's not like he broke a finger on his throwing hand. Not the case. Yes, he's better than Tua.
We got to put that up. Well, okay. Yes, Justin Herbert is better than Tua, and I don't even think that's debatable.
It's not debatable.
We'll talk about MVP candidate Tua Tagovailoa just in a short bit. Don't worry. We'll talk about the MVP trophy winner in a bit. 8 and H, Grumpy.
The kids, whoever this is, pretty stupid. Tua is better than Brady.
Wow, Grumpy, what are your thoughts on that?
Here's the thing. I know that kid, by the way. I know that kid.
What are your thoughts, Grumpy? Do you agree with him?
No, nothing could be further from the truth. But here's the thing: he's young. Football for him, he's young. I mean, he's a very young man. So, all right, he's still in. I think junior high school, I believe. So here's the thing: maybe he's in high school. Close. I'll say high school. He doesn't know the back of his head is still soft because, he's still young yet. Our heads, when you get old, the head gets all hardened up. But when you're young, it's still soft in the back. His head's a little bit soft. And he doesn't know anything about football besides like the last couple of years. That's all he knows. So he's to be forgiven.
Well, I figured maybe he just picked up football 3 weeks ago or 4 weeks ago, because if you would have asked anybody like Dolphin fans that Tua was going to be the MVP.
No. He plays football. He's a very nice young man also. Very nice.
Okay.
But he doesn't know much about football. That's why he plays the line.
The line is where the smartest players play, Grover.
Line coach or linebacker.
The line. Anyway.
It's been a while since I've seen him.
JP said, and you're right, Grumpy, the Patriots really suck this year.
You know what? They've sucked before Brady got there. They were really good when Brady was there. They've sucked since Brady left. Figure it out. Do the math, people. Miami,
trend.
They suck with Tua. They suck without Tua. They just suck. There is no difference.
I will say this. The Patriots do suck. They are awful. That's why again, like we pointed out, Tua having a great game. They barely skated away with a 7-point victory over the Patriots. The Patriots are awful. Hey, they're already throwing Bailey Zappi back in there again. Backup QB time.
Okay, look at who the Dolphins have beat. They beat Brandon Staley, the absolute ultimate loser as a head coach.
Yes.
His idiotic decisions cost his team every single week. They beat the Patriots and their inept, impotent, incompetent offense. And they beat the freaking Broncos.
Broncos are pretty good.
They play Buffalo. Order has been restored.
Oh, there it is. Let's
Buffalo
get to
Buffalo stomped the living hell out of them today. Freeze warning says Jets defense looking good. Your fat boy Mekhi Becton needing help to double team Chris Jones. TJ, Jets need to hear more hype about how all these great New York sports teams.
So I will say this: Jets defense is good. Not going to catch Jets. I think that team has given up. I think that team is the team is mentally weak. It's why last week you saw fighting amongst players and coaches on the sidelines. It was just rife all over the place. You got third string running backs yelling at coaches. You've got the wide receiver yelling at the starting quarterback. When you've already got game 3, we talked about this last week, Al. Game 3, you're already starting to see the arguments and the people can't go ahead and settle any sort of issues, and there's no mental fortitude on that team.
I don't see the name
collapse. It's going to be bad.
I don't see the name. I see freeze warning.
Oh, freeze warning. That's right. That's the trouble there. But let's continue along there, Grumpy. TJ is going to cancel.
TJ's going to cancel this podcast altogether with how late he is.
Yeah.
The Normalty channel with Riley Taylor. Hello, Riley. Tottenham Hotspur Stadium soon. I don't know what's going on there.
Hey from the UK. What's up, Riley? How are you? Joseph C.
Welcome aboard. Joseph C. says, shame Buck Showalter was fired, by the way. Don't blame him for the awful roster construction of Billy Epler. Well, Billy Epler's gone too.
Now, and I want to put this up here.
Honestly, okay, you can put that up. That's fine. Honestly, one more thing on the Buck Showalter thing. Another thing that kind of maybe doomed him a little bit, or maybe made him realize it's time to get out, is when Tommy Pham came out and said that they had the least hardworking team of any team that he's been with in his career. That's something you don't come back from. Yeah,
probably not. Here's the clip here of Buck on his little farewell.
Meanwhile, everybody out in front of the Mets dugout cheering on Buck Showalter as he brings the lineup card up to home plate for the final time.
Looks like everyone's behind him.
Well, hey, if you got a lax coach who's a player coach, I'm sure everybody's going to be sad to see him leave.
I don't know. You don't usually see that. Even the fans, I think, were clapping. Look, they're all standing for him. I like Buck Showalter.
Me
too. It wasn't a perfect team. I mean, thank you, Buck. I mean, they knew this was coming. I think he planned it a long time ago that this was going to be his last year, regardless. You just don't whip something like this up overnight. You don't do it. If he was fired, they wouldn't have done that. It makes him look really bad if it comes out that he was fired.
I think it was a mixture. It was like one of those, hey, you either going to step down or we're going to can your ass. Which one do you want?
I disagree. You don't do a presentation like that with the video board and all that stuff if you're firing somebody. You don't do it. Because if it gets out that you fired him, you'll look really, really bad. I think that he said, this is my last year. I'm stepping down. I firmly believe that. And good for him. He's 67 years old. He's ready to collect Social Security at, the mandatory retirement age. He'd be ready to go. He's good for him.
Good for him there. X, what other comments do we have loaded up there?
X. Joseph C. says, TJ's only a half hour late. Not like him at all. And the first thing is, he was an hour late. See, you've got him trained to be a half an hour late. You got all the people trained to be a half an hour late. So when you're an hour late, he's only a half hour late. No, he's an hour late. Deacon says, X is finished. That's a bold statement, D-Cut.
You're fired.
And here's our boy Riley once again. We can't wait to welcome you to Wembley and Tottenham.
There it is. I will tell you, usually the players do not play well when they switch over time zones like that and play in the UK. Not good for fantasy players, that's for certain.
Joseph C says, oh God, I'm doing it wrong. Tua is greater than Allen, only in the Twilight Zone.
Oh God. Now, yeah, Allen, because remember, people were like, oh, Tua is better than Allen. That was a news story that was passing around after they hung 70 on that great Broncos defense. Oh, man, Tua is better than Josh Allen. He took that shit personally, obviously, and just torched the Dolphins defense, and they shut Tua right down. I mean, let's talk about that. Let's talk a little bit like that. We're in a spot to where Tua last week doing great, was a guy that, hey, could be in the running for MVP. We had people on the show here telling us that too. Could be an MVP candidate. Comes out today, doesn't have a great game. What are your thoughts, Grumpy, on Tua's performance today?
He got exposed. He's not a great quarterback. They have great weapons. And here's the thing. Like I said, pump the brakes on Miami. Okay, Miami got this railroad. They just got destroyed today, right? Just destroyed. But Miami's not a terrible team. They're a good team. They just played a team that's really good. A contender for the Super Bowl. Oh, there you go. That's looking good. That was a nice lucky catch.
They somehow came up with the catch too. You know, here's the thing. It's not like, oh man, things just didn't go our way. This happened, that happened. Poor.
Look at that pass. Look at that pass. He's falling back.
Throwing off the back foot.
He don't want to take a hit. He was sacked that he'd only been sacked once before today. Why is he not stepping into that throw? That guy wasn't even close to him in NFL standards.
Touched. That's exactly what it is. Just
he got sacked a number of times today.
Yeah,
Buffalo's good. Look at him. Look at him backpedaling over there.
He's not a good quarterback. He's average. He's an average to an above average quarterback. That's where he is. Average. You know, the system is great. The system is really good. But here's the thing: when you run across teams that are doing and playing football the way they should, the system gets exposed. I mean, that's the nicest way I'll put it.
Yeah.
But I don't want to continue to show that too much. I just thought it was a nice little tip play, a nice catch, a nice play there by Waddle. Now, again, he did have a little bit of interception today. It wasn't like he didn't have a bad game, right? I don't think he had a bad game. He didn't have a great game, though. I said, you know, this a week playing against a top-tier team, that, you know, if he played up to the level where he should, that's going to change my opinion of him. I said it at the beginning of the show, or beginning of last show. I said, if he comes out there and shows up against the Bills, you'll have me saying, maybe I'm wrong. He didn't do that, though. Just like we expected.
True.
And Tyreek Hill has a quote here, Grumpy.
Tyreek Hill said, the Bills played cover 2 throughout the game, and their corners had no fear in their eyes because they knew they had help over the top. Well, Tyreek.
Go ahead.
Well, Tyreek, thanks for telling the rest of the league how they should play you.
Well, the reason they could play cover 2 is because their front 7 is good enough for the Bills in order to stop the run. For most teams, their front 7 is not good enough when you look at the D-line and the linebacker combination to stop the rushing attack from Miami, right? Because the way they move, the way they go ahead and zone the scheme, and that the quick guys out there, they're able to expose if you don't have a good front 7. The Bills have a very good front 7. And if you don't,
very good,
you know, they could drop guys over top to make sure that you can't just go ahead and you can't target Tyreek Hill for 170 yards a game. Sorry. I mean, good teams beat the system like that. It's the same reason why the 49ers always get really close, but never win. And I think the 49ers are probably a better built team than the Miami Dolphins. I think the 49ers are better defense. I think the 49ers have a better running back. I think the 49ers, Brock Purdy and Tua, I think are relatively interchangeable.
Same guy.
And I was about to say, and at wide receiver, I don't think the wide receivers are as good, but I think Kittle is better than Miami's wide receiver or tight end option. And I think that Deebo Samuel and Brandon Ayuk are no slouches.
Yeah, Miami has better weapons. Running back, San Francisco. Wide receivers, Miami. The biggest difference is the defense. San Francisco's defense is really good. Miami's just isn't. Buffalo ran the ball on them today easily, at will, in the red zone, in the final 10 yards. They couldn't stop them. I think Buffalo said, you know what? We've heard enough of this Miami talk. And they just shut them down. They could have scored multiple more times if they wanted to.
And, you know,
Buffalo's good. Buffalo's back on track. Yes, they lost to the Jets. Jets, for whatever reason, are a tough matchup for them. Watch out for Buffalo. I'm rooting for Buffalo. Buffalo and the Lions. Let's go. None of them ever won anything. Go Super Bowl. I'd love to see that. That'd be high flying.
The Drew L. Grumpy.
Drew says, last time I checked, Alex is on the Twitter space. I know he won't be here tonight. Likely coping with the fact that Josh Allen is his daddy. I'm just saying, if Miami had won, Alex would have been on this. He would have been early to this show and just shooting comments. Bam, 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 bam. 500 comments about how great Miami is. I don't expect to hear from Alex today. But Alex, we love you anyway. It doesn't matter that you're not here, as long as you know the Bills are better than the Dolphins.
Nick Azzato says, yes. That's right. Islanders hockey's coming up soon, guys. Soon.
Nick needs a shave. Can you put Nick's picture back up?
It was of a dog. No, I guarantee you X is already on the card.
Okay.
No. Freedom Fun Adventure, Grumpy.
Son X wants to be a Marine, but he can't overcome technical difficulties. Get your ass in gear, X. Andrew L. said, wrong, Grump. Stearns let him go, so he gets to pick his own guy. I don't think he was coming back. Drew says, by the way, TJ, another great day for the big three of CJ Stroud agenda. Sorry, Grumpy. You're not included since you believed in a midget. I don't know which midget he's talking about.
You believed in Bryce Young. I told you CJ Stroud was the better quarterback, will be the better quarterback, and will continue to be the better quarterback. I'm not wrong on quarterback evaluations, Grumpy. Never, ever, ever, Grump. If I say something about a quarterback, take it like it's hammered in marble, Grump.
D-Cut says, fire X. Hire Drew L. and Goon.
Oh, gosh. There it is.
Freedom Fun Adventure adds, guys, since X can't comment, I have questions. Is fiance Y, is she real? She is real. Or is she, number one, a Japanese robot? 2, a Ukraine war refugee, or someone else in need of a green card? Grumpy's estate must be massive, as these two got women.
So here's the thing, at least with fiance Y, it's a mixture between not a Japanese robot, but one of those Japanese little body pillows. And anytime
what?
Yeah. Oh, fuck. It doesn't work as well when fucking X isn't there to freaking chime off of that. He knows what that is, but that I guess is a foreign idea to Grumpy. He doesn't know what that is. Okay, don't worry. We'll keep moving along.
Deacon says, I spoke with push. Maybe it was the tush push before. Maybe. Now they didn't like that, so they call it the brotherly shove. I like tush push better. D-Cut had another comment that just blew by very, very quickly about him asking Wally's coaches. Okay. Gungu says, I'm such a big fan of this podcast that I'm finding time to send this message at a very loud wedding. The main course just finished. I selected the exotic, sensual striped bass. Yuck. I don't know why they ever serve fish at a wedding.
You don't like fish, Grumpy?
Absolutely not. I don't even like fish that swim in a pond. Throw
what?
Dynamite in there, blow them all up.
I like fish. If I'm near the ocean, I'm eating fish anytime I can.
No.
Shit.
No. Here's the comment again. D-Cut says, I spoke with every coach Wally had played with since he was 12 years old. They were all unemployed and called him a coach killer. I doubt the veracity of that comment, but we're moving on. Goon adds, if Grumpy dons a football helmet and a cup combo, will it turn the Jets' pathetically weak season around? No. My days on the gridiron are long, long, long over. So,
I'm not sure there ever were any days on the gridiron for Grumpy.
D-Cut says, Renee is hiding. Alex is hiding after Tua and the mad scientist McDaniel took a horrible beating today. Come out and take your beating like a man, Renee. We will not see Alex until they win a few more games. Then he'll come back out. Freedom Fun Adventure adds, TJ played soccer, yeah, when he was a kid. What position? Fullback. Not sure I buy that. Football I can see, not athletic enough to be a tackle, so a guard. Actually, he played tackle and he played guard also, wherever he was, wherever they need him. He was good. TJ was good as a football player. He was, when he played soccer when he was young, he was bigger than a lot of the kids, and he just steamrolled. And he usually played like striker because he would kick the ball hard, very direct, going to the net.
I was a target man up front. That's probably the best.
Big target.
Oh gosh.
Drew adds, by the way, forgot to mention Stroud manhandled the Steelers without his entire starting offensive line. You want to know who else is a shitty quarterback? Kitten Mittens. Kenny Pickett. He sucks.
Yeah, he struggled. I mean, I think this year he's been below average is probably the nicest way you could put it, below average. And the Pittsburgh Steelers, I think they miss Deontay Johnson. I don't watch enough of their games every single day or every single Sunday to tell you, hey, what the actual problem is diagnostic wise. A lot of people are complaining about play calling from Matt Canada. I don't know. I can't vouch for that, but he's played below average this season. I think a lot of the receivers they have are long. They're the receivers who need to develop longer route trees. Deontay Johnson's a guy who doesn't have a long route tree. He's quick. You're able to hit him there. He's a check down Charlie type of guy. And when you're getting pressure in your face, you can hit that open receiver, and he can do a lot with the ball in his hands. Now, so with him out, they've had to hold on to the ball longer. And I think you've seen just yikes, hasn't been great.
It has not been great. I'm going to tell you what, here's something I was wrong about trusting the Steelers from what they did in preseason. I should have thought, here's what I should have thought. They played their starters in preseason. No other team seemed to. Most of them didn't. So he looked really great. They looked great in preseason. Regular season, a little bit different.
Oh, shit. Grumpy.
Freedom Fun Event says, Grumpy, he compared Tua to Brady because Tony Romo said it during the broadcast. Okay. Well, Aiden, I'm still not apologizing because that's just not what I do. But I will say, if you're believing anything Tony Romo says, don't worry. I'm going to see you next weekend, and we're going to straighten this whole thing out. Don't you worry about it.
God almighty.
I mean, Tony Romo, he's terrible.
Zach Wilson's playing well so far.
Mario Roberto Vargas Harada says, Zach Wilson is playing well so far. He has played better since the start of the game. Gungun adds, at this point, is Coach Saleh in over his head? Is it full of lead? No, I don't know. They're just in a tough spot, the Jets. They are.
Without the starting QB.
It's a big loss. It's a big loss.
I really think with Aaron Rodgers, this should be a completely different season.
Yeah, me too.
I feel confident that Rodgers, with pressure in his face, is able to diagnose who the open guy is. He has experience doing that. He has that innate feeling as to know where pressure's coming from, Grump, and he's able to offer.
I will say, if they had Rodgers, they would have absolutely beaten the Jets. I mean, the Patriots. They would have absolutely beaten the Patriots.
You're too busy watching the Jets, so you're thinking about the Jets.
We're talking.
It to be true. I know. But yes, I think they absolutely would have beat the Patriots. I agree. Patriots suck. And then here you go. Freedom Fun Adventure.
Guys, are you golfers? I refer the gun range to the driving range, but what do you make of all the violence going on golf courses? Videos are nuts.
Yes, I didn't know there were videos of people who were wheeling around and just smacking the living shit out of people with like 9 irons and stuff like that. Like, what the fuck is going on? I don't know. Like we've showcased some fights before on this channel for people beating each other up there, but I don't know. I've been golfing like once or twice. I've never had a problem with people playing in front or behind us, even though I'm a bad golfer. I've never had any issues. I'm like, oh, just go ahead and pass us. And I've never had any issue where it's like that I get into a fight or an altercation.
It's because you're 6'4" and weigh 7,000 pounds.
That solves your problem then, ladies and gentlemen. Hit the gym and grow a little bit, and you won't have to worry about these physical altercations then. What can I say, Grump?
I'm just telling you.
I saw X immediately had an ear-to-ear smile on his face when we made that comment. Helen Yeller says, hey, what's up, homies? What's up there, Phil Kessel?
I took X to the driving range once, and he threw a club. I'm like, what? And I don't mean he threw a club because in anger, he couldn't hold on to it. Just fell out of his hands. I'm like, you got to be kidding me.
Fuck. He's swinging hitting bastards over there on the course, too.
I'm like, that's it. Sit down.
Nice comment there, X. Let's get a few comments in here. Come on, man.
Helen Yeller adds, long day today. Happy to see you guys live streaming. Happy to be here.
Absolutely.
Freedom Fun Adventure says, guys, we just read that.
We just read that, X. What are you doing? Come on now. What the fuck?
What a film says, Buck was on Seinfeld when he managed the Yankees. Remember, George got the Yankees to switch uniforms to cotton uniforms, and they shrank. Buck's a legend. Think about how long that was.
A few years.
Yep, like 30 years ago, 30 plus. Joseph C. says, I know Purdy went to a great situation, but it's hard to believe the last pick of the draft is playing this well. It's a quarterback-friendly system. It just is.
I think you can put a guy like Kenny Pickett in there, and he would be like, oh, wow, Kenny Pickett's a pretty good quarterback. You can have an average to a below-average quarterback excel in a situation like that, because when you have to worry about, oh, shit, our front seven's not good enough to stop the great offensive line and the running back in Christian McCaffrey. We've got to load an extra guy into the box to stop the run. It just makes throws a lot easier. It gives you matchup nightmares, and as a quarterback, you're going to be able to exploit those if you just have I'm somewhat of a confident QB.
So what did you say again? That an average to below average quarterback could do well in that system?
Yes.
Well, look at Tua. That's all I have to say.
Exactly.
And Purdy's the same thing. There's nothing great about him.
Yep.
Drew says, yeah, speaking of Debo, he's really showing that he's a do-it-all Debo with his 0.6 fantasy points today. They didn't need him today. Christian McCaffrey had like 4 touchdowns today.
Yeah, I was about to say, when you're just running the ball right down an opposing team, they don't even have to work. I'm like, man, we're not going to throw the ball that much. They don't.
Freedom Fun Adventure adds, look, Miami was missing Williams, their center, Ramsey, their cornerback. Yeah.
Okay, Ramsey's been missing all year.
And Phillips, the outside linebacker, also missing 2 of their best wide receivers. All right. They had Tyreek Hill.
They had Tyreek Hill, and Jaden Waddle was playing as well. Jalen Waddle was playing today too, right?
I don't know if he was playing.
Waddle was clear.
But they had Braxton Berrios was playing. Miami has Vic Fangio as defensive coordinator, and he'll have the defense ready for Buffalo next meeting. Well, they were playing him today. Okay. Looks like he didn't have him ready this time.
Waddle played today. Jalen Waddle played. So did Tyreek Hill. So did Braxton Berrios. Well, those are your top 3 wide receivers right there that all played and were all healthy. And you've been missing Jalen Ramsey the entire year. It's like saying, man, the Giants are without this guy and that. If they're left with guys since the beginning of the season, man, the Jets are still without Aaron Rodgers, man. They would have had that win if Aaron Rodgers was back. I mean, like, sure, could that be the case? Quarterback's going to make more of an impact, but they're without Aaron Rodgers all freaking year. All year.
It is what it is. The injuries are part of the game. They just are. You can't lament it. Next man up. Here's the thing. Whatever injuries they had, were they 28 points worth of injuries? I don't think so.
I'll say probably not.
Yeah, probably not. Buffalo's better than Miami. That's fine. They played a good team and they got shit canned. That's what happened. They played a good team and they turned into the pumpkin, the great pumpkin. It's October now. Halloween's coming up. Pumpkin time is here.
That's something I want to talk about, right? The Broncos, how great of a performance they had against the Broncos. Okay. Did you happen to see Justin Fields had quite a day today? One of the best days I think he's ever had in his career.
Ever. You know how I know? He was playing against my team in fantasy and cost me a game today. This piece of trash. A matter of fact, him playing today looked like his highlight film in high school and college.
He had an 80% completion percentage, 4 touchdowns in 1 pick. That's the best game he's ever had as a pro. Was today. Well, just in general, that's the best game he's ever had. I mean, like, that's what your job is as a quarterback, is to throw the football, not to run around. So again, he's never thrown for more than 3 passing touchdowns in a game. So he had a career high in passing touchdowns, a career high in passing yards, a career high in, I think, he tied a career high in completion percentage. One that he had on December 4th was 80% as well, but he tied a career high in completion percentage. So again, a career day for him. Who was he playing against, might you think? Oh, the Denver Broncos defense. Dun, dun, dun. That's who it is, Grumpy. Looky here.
Play fake. Fields rolling right. He's going to turn it up, or is he going to throw it? He does. Touchdown! Number 2 for Cole Kmet.
We were talking during the game, and we were talking, Grumpy, like, man, wow, the Denver Broncos are the worst team in all of football. And and the Bears still found a way to lose today after having a 28-7 point lead going in the half. How do you fucking lose that game?
You don't lose.
The Broncos defense is miserable. Think about that. They were carving them up passing the ball all day. And just like the Rams did at the mid-afternoon game, they said, oh, great, we're up 20-0 at half. We're just going to go into turtle shell mode.
That game
and the game forces to overtime.
That game was 23-0 Rams. They wound up winning it 29-23 in overtime. But it's like these teams don't realize, you see what works in the first half and you just kind of stop. I don't understand that. I don't understand. Coaches. Players win games, coaches lose my say it all the time. Sorry. You want to know something? The Patriots in their last 11 games are 3-8.
Pretty shitty, to be honest. I mean, like, if that's not Bill Belichick, he's fired, right?
That's right.
He should be fired. I'll be honest with you. He should be fired. At the end of this year, he shouldn't have a job. Just tell me.
I still think he's a good coach, but he's 71 years old. And that's what I think. It's just kind of, here's the thing. I still think he's smart, but the team is not buying in or something. They come out and they go down double digits every single game. Every game.
And it's always like late game heroics have to try to bring them back. But I mean, like, they can't establish the run. Quarterback play is shitty at best. Wide receivers are poor. You have a few tight end options. The defense has been getting carved up. I mean, like, I think Dallas had 2 defensive touchdowns today. At least 1.
2. A fumble return for a touchdown by Van Der Esch and an interception return for a touchdown where Mac Jones throws cross field. He did it earlier, and Greg Olsen said, you know what, you're taught not to throw the ball across field like that, and they got lucky with that. He does it 3 plays later, and it gets picked and run back by Bland was his name.
You're right. You don't throw cross field because easy to intercept the football. And it's tough to evaluate everything else that's going on with the traffic. So, you know, it's just dumb decisions. Really stupid decisions on his part.
JP says Zach Wilson has responded with a 106 quarterback rating in the second quarter. Got to give him credit for hanging in as bad as he's looked the last week. Chiefs 20, Jets 12 at half.
What the?
And the Jets also missed a field goal. They hit the upright straight on. Tony Cheese says, "What's up, Beaches?"
He says, "Whoa!" He says, "Where's Nicky Boy?"
Who's Nicky?
A Nicky Boy. Dun, 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 dun. D-Cut says here, Alexander was so upset after today's Finn's beatdown that he dove into the Everglades and is now being digested by a gator. Oh, no, that's not it. That's not it. Son X, Grumpy. Or from Freedom Front Adventure.
Son X, what is your lab's name? I think he's a golden retriever, German short-haired pointer mix. And will he be in the wedding? Oh, God, I hope not. I promise you, everyone here will send you money if you make TJ a flower girl and show the video of him walking down the aisle, tossing petals. I think that should happen.
Well, I won't do that. So you'll find somebody else to do that.
Look at you. It's not your day.
That's right, but I could say yes or no. Drew L says here, the Bears.
The Bears are such a great team But the Bears are such a great team. Did you see Justin Fields will his team to victory today? They won by 21 points.
Oh, wait a second. They found a way to lose in the second half. Wow, Mahomes with 2 interceptions in the first half.
I'll tell you what, I'm not saying Patrick Mahomes isn't a good quarterback, because he is, but you know what? He's not freaking Tom Brady. So for all you people who say Patrick Mahomes is the greatest, you're seeing now why he's not. Unless he's got weapons. What happens when he loses Kelsey? What's he going to do? I mean,
we have seen a significant drop off in his production and performance without Tyreek Hill. I'm not saying Tyreek Hill made Patrick Mahomes, but man, does it really help when you've got a Hall of Fame, first ballot Hall of Fame tight end and a first ballot Hall of Fame wide receiver that you're throwing the football to
for years.
For years, exactly. 4 years is correct.
Brady is throwing to, the Muppets out there, Danny Amendola. Danny freaking Amendola. Julian Edelman. You could say Gronk is a Hall of Famer. Randy Moss, he only played for 2 years and four games. That's all he played with Randy Moss for. So it doesn't really count. Deion Branch did nothing anywhere else. Wes Welker, nothing anywhere else. I mean, I could name the wide receivers. Brady would win every single game with the talent that they have in Kansas City. He did it with just Gronk.
Well, that's what I was about to say. Brady he only played 2 years with Randy Moss, but he had a few wide receivers along the way. But to start his career, Patrick Mahomes has had a much better advantage, at least regarding the weapons that have been around him. And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying, yeah, you're kind of starting to see, well, Patrick Mahomes isn't lighting it up just quite like the way he used to. JP Grumpy.
Solid not challenging for that yard, then not going for it on 4th and 1 there gives me pause about his game management. Okay. Momentum turned back in the Jets' favor. The last thing you want to do is do something that potentially just give Kansas City any momentum. You don't want to do that. I think the Jets are well placed to potentially come back in the second half. Kansas City's not that great this year. I thought Garrett Wilson got that first down. It was awful close. It was closer than the spot they gave him, I will say that. Then where they were on the field, they should have run for that yard. They can't run the ball if he's not going to challenge that call. Well, you don't want to lose that time out either.
Alex struggling badly with the comments tonight, says D-Cut. Oh, no. Joseph C. said, I still want to understand how Mac Jones was a first-round pick. As bad as Wilson is, I at least understand why he was a first-round pick.
Mac Jones is a high floor, low ceiling guy. Again, they have no talent in New England. None. Their offensive line is terrible. Their wide receivers are suspect. They're all cast-offs. The whole team, it's a team of cast-offs. Brady could have won with them, but a mere mortal can't. Only a football god like the legendary TB12 could lead that team to victory.
Tony Cheese.
And here we go. Tony Cheese says, Grumpy over there guzzling Tom Brady's glizzies over here. Yeah. Hey, he's the greatest of all time. Admit it or just get off the boat.
D-Cut Grump.
D-Cut says, Little Hands Pickett is finished, TJ. Sam Howell is better. So is Thurston now the third. Put up 31 on the Eagles D today, you bald-headed jerk.
Eagles suck. Eagles are not the same team they were last year.
They're not the same team as last year. I don't think they suck, though.
Their team, if they played in the AFC, would be a borderline playoff team. If they played in the tough AFC, borderline playoff team. Jalen Hurts hasn't looked good. Prove me wrong. Jalen Hurts doesn't look good. We knew he wouldn't. They figured out his MO. New offensive coordinator, stop the RPO, how we need to game plan against it, where he likes to roll to, what he likes to do, what his cadences look like. They've got him figured out.
He's not great throwing the ball, but he never has been. His best year throwing the ball was at Oklahoma. That was his best year throwing the ball. He couldn't at all in Alabama. He's just a running back at quarterback position. That's why he lost it. Think about it. He lost his job to Noodles. Think about that. How bad are you if you lose your job to Tua Tagovailoa? You got to be pretty bad.
He's freaking bad.
But then he goes and resuscitates his career at Oklahoma under Lincoln Riley.
You love to throw that in there, don't you?
Well, it's the truth, though.
Uh-huh.
Lincoln Riley knows how to get quarterbacks. He knows how to develop quarterbacks. He does. Drew says, D-Cut, X is skipping my meme comments, knowing damn well TJ's never going to showcase them by the time the podcast is wrapping up.
Oh, man.
I guess that means you're going to have to show the
I'm
memes.
getting pulled up. Just continue along there, X.
Joseph C says everyone knew the Chiefs wide receiver core was garbage, except the Chiefs, apparently. Well, they had to pay a whole bunch of other guys. You can't pay everyone in the salary cap era. D-Cut says, TJ, bring up the tweet by Frank the Tank today with his reaction to the Dolphins' loss. That might be fun.
Oh, God. Oh, you know who Frank the Tank is, Grump?
Some guy in New Jersey. He's a New Jersey Devils fan, right?
Oh, my God. How it started.
Frank, right?
GM Ryan Pauls loves it.
Oh, 1 hour later.
Yeah, shit was not fucking good. Yeah, I did see that at the end of the game. He did throw a pick on that last drive.
Yeah,
man, I saw some stat where it showed how often he had last like game-winning drives and what his results were. It's like 6 picks and 3 fumbles, 0 touchdowns.
Do you think Taylor Swift knows anything about football?
I don't know, Grumpy, but I don't know why that's being. We'll talk about Swift here in a second. Why are you watching halftime?
It's big news. It's big news, the Swiftie character. I'm just wondering, or did they just say clap every time everybody jumps around who's in red? Is that the level of her knowledge? I don't know. I'm asking.
I'll tell you this. The lovely Paige is all excited today. I was headed to the podcast before we had tech issues, and she's like, she had the TV on watching football. I was like, I said, what? I said, you're watching football? And she's like, yeah, I'm watching football. And I'm like, she's like, Taylor Swift is confirmed to being at the game. And I'm like, I said, hold on. I said, so you're watching because Taylor Swift at the game? She's like, absolutely. So they're doing exactly what it is. They had like in the pregame, like a translation to help the Swifties understand football. And they did it like with their songs. It was kind of actually cool. I thought it was kind of cute. It was like they're in a dark place, whatever the songs are. They would like explain like a football thing, and then like would put like the words of the lyrics of the songs. And
I know none of her songs, so I can't even. I bet you it was fun. I just wish I knew any of her songs. I don't know any of her songs. Not
X
a one.
Going to throw up there. Oh God.
What's the name? Texas Going to Throw Up. I didn't realize that was a song.
X is doing a little throw up like he's throwing up down there. Could you not see him?
No, I don't see him at all.
Can you? Fuck. Oh, you can't see him. Oh, maybe I can only see him. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, he's doing like a little fake throw up there. Meme. He's not a big fan. But here it is. Josh Allen, after being 9-2 against the Dolphins in his entire career.
Right on cue, Joe.
I still own you.
Yeah, Rodgers in Chicago. You know, Brady did that with the Jets. I think Brady beat the Jets 35 out of 38 times they played. Think about that. 35 out of 38.
Just a few wins.
Nice. Here we go. Have you won a game since Elon Musk bought Twitter? Yes, of course. The sale was finalized back in October 22. One team that's a no. The Chicago Bears. Oof.
I wonder if that's the one team in professional sports who hasn't.
That's what I think.
Christ almighty. Yikes. Man, yikes.
Uh-oh. So Debo Samuel, I'm
projected to smoke my opponent by 20 points. I just need a couple of catches from you and you're good. Debo Samuel does it. Oh, he must have lost in fantasy because Debo Samuel didn't do anything. Oh, there it is.
So what happened? Oh, he went to sleep, took a little nap. That looks like Drew, actually. A little crusty and yellow on the sides.
Grumpy throwing freaking blows over here. Oh, man. Oh,
hey, let me say something.
Hold on a second. Hold on. Alexander sent me a message. I'll just like it. He said he was saying if we won today, I needed to bring him on as a guest on the show.
Well, we won. Bring him on as a guest.
Oh God. Okay. Oh, man.
I have him call in. I have no problem talking to Alexander today. I want to hear him explain away today's debacle.
They're going to complain. Oh, the offensive line wasn't blocking. This is happening. That was happening. Now you happen
what
to
else
see
happened? Josh Allen happened. That's what happened.
Yeah.
Josh Allen. He's your daddy.
He's your daddy. I want to put this up. Now, Joe Burrow and the Bengals have been playing like absolute dog shit.
Terrible.
Awful. 1-3. They play the Arizona Cardinals next week. They need a big win in the worst way imaginable. Man, are things bad
What's the
for
matter
them.
with this guy's eye? Who is this, and what's the matter with his
It's
eye?
his Jamar Chase. Well, it's a freeze frame.
No wonder he's
guys.
not catching the ball. One of his eyes looks like it's closed.
Okay, so Jamar Chase in a post-game presser did not speak too highly of the situation. Like all wide receivers, this is like out of the wide receiver handbook. When shit starts to go bad, start bitching and moaning about, man, I'm open. He's not getting me the football. So, we've seen it with Terrell Owens. We've seen it with, I mean, who was the first guy? Who was the first wideout you remember doing that, Grumpy?
Either Keyshawn Johnson or Keyshawn Johnson, I think, was the first. I think Keyshawn Johnson was the first. I think because he was before Terrell Owens. But those were the first big ones.
Okay. This is Jamar Chase's it's a little clip, but this is essentially the message he was getting across.
I'm open. I'm always fucking open. Excuse my profanity. I'm sorry. I'm open. I'm always fucking open. Excuse my profanity. I'm sorry. I'm open.
Hey, what do you think about your production? What do you think about the team structure? Do you think you do any more? I'm open. I'm always fucking open.
Excuse my profanity.
I would say that,
Okay.
again, Jamar Chase
right,
makes
so
it fall that Joe Burrow's ass. Yeah, kind of.
Okay. Joe Burrow is still hurt. It's obvious to me that he is hurt. You could tell he's not setting up like he has in the past. He is injured. He's playing hurt. Their offensive line is just not great right now. They're not. They're not able to run the ball, and they can't protect for Joe Burrow. T. Higgins, Monday night, I don't know how many passes he dropped, but he wound up breaking some ribs today. He's going to be out a while. Jamar Chase, you're going to be getting a lot of targets.
T. Higgins being out actually is a good thing. He sucks. I've never seen a professional drop so many fucking balls in my life, and that's his one job. I'm sorry. Like Joe Burrow's been playing like shit.
He's hurt.
I
Zach
don't know.
Wilson looks like the second coming of Aaron Rodgers out here today.
He's playing well, huh?
He is.
Holy
He
shit.
is.
Okay. And I assume Mahomes is doing. Now, this
You
is
know, hey,
what.
let me tell you something. Taylor Swift's in one box for Travis Kelce. All of his mom's friends are in the other box. And they're all there.
Go ahead and keep them separated.
Yeah.
Now, this is. They asked Joe Burrow today about the injury to T. Higgins.
Plan the plan. It's we just gotta get better in practice. Got to continue stack days, get better every day.
When you lose a guy like T and you're in a hole already, how much more challenging is that? Knowing that you're down multiple scores and you lose one of your best guys.
Yeah, whenever T's not out there, we're not as good of a football team. But like I said, whatever circumstance presents itself, you gotta adapt to it and make it work.
I'll tell you one thing. I don't like his responses. I don't like that. I don't like his fucking demeanor. I don't like his response.
You know what? He should learn from Tom Brady how to handle a press conference.
I don't like his response. Gets a little bit of adversity. He looks like a fucking spoiled kid.
He looked a little sulky to me. He did.
Guess what, buddy? You are the highest paid player in football right now. Since you've signed that contract, you've looked like complete shit. Oh, man, it's like, oh, I'm so frustrated. I don't know what else we can be doing differently. That's not what you need from the quarterback. That's never a response you can have from the quarterback. You just can't have that.
Zach Wilson for the Hall of Fame.
Why are you still watching the game? Can we focus on the comments, Grumpy?
I am focusing. When you talk, it's mostly nonsense. I can watch the game.
Talking Jets, Grump.
When you talk, I can watch the game because it's just nonsense.
That's why you don't ever have a conversation because you're never fucking paying attention.
Watch your mouth. D-Cut says, TJ.
Jesus Christ, it's hard to work with you, man.
Bring up the tweet by Frank the Tank today with his reaction to the Dolphins loss. That's the second time that X has put that comment up.
Okay.
Joseph C says, Baker Mayfield career resurgence, by the way. He's been good this year so far. Yeah, TJ. Mr. Always right about the quarterbacks. He's done a really good job. John B says, Commanders might have something with that Sam Howell. Another guy, TJ Rip.
Stop. Okay, look at the numbers he put up today. They weren't that great.
W. He put up a win.
I've seen Tim Tebow put up W's. It doesn't mean you're doing a good job at the quarterback position. First off, I'll address this. Baker Mayfield, Look at the opponents he's played. I hate to play. We're only 4 games into the season. Let's take a look at the opponents. Look at the opponents he's played. He's played all interdivision rivals, right?
Got to win those division games. Got to win.
Hold on. He's
Minnesota.
played. Okay, so he played 0-4 Minnesota, or 1-3 Minnesota after their win over the Carolina Hurricanes or the Carolina Panthers today. A big win over the Panthers. They played the Carolina Panthers.
They were not beating the Carolina Hurricanes. That much I can tell you.
They beat the Carolina Panthers, right? Grumpy?
Yep.
Okay.
First win.
And then who else did they beat? The Atlanta Falcons?
They beat the and the Atlanta Falcons. And they lost to the Eagles. You got to win the division games. I mean, realistically, what would you say is the end? Would you consider a successful season for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers? Would you say post Tom Brady winning division title is a successful season? I would.
I think that's kind of the expectation.
To win division?
Look how bad the division is. I thought Derek Carr looked questionable today at best.
He's still hurt. He's playing hurt.
I think so too.
Yeah. I mean, that AC joint was supposed to keep him out 4 weeks. He comes back 6 days later. But I don't think he's that great anymore. I don't think that New Orleans offense is that good. They got Kamara back.
Yep.
But still, I don't think they're that great offensively.
Now, again, you look at his stats. He played poorly against the Eagles. What a shock. The Vikings, he only threw for 173 yards. He played the Bears. That's right. Okay. So Baker and the boys have played the Vikings, the 1-3 Vikings, the winless Bears, the undefeated Eagles, and then the Saints.
Yeah.
The best game was against the Saints today.
Then that was their best game that they played, honestly, offensively. I thought they looked pretty good today. Here's the thing. Baker Mayfield, is he a great quarterback? No. Is he serviceable? Absolutely. I think he suffered in Cleveland with all the offensive coordinators. The Panthers were a lost cause last year, and he's gotten a shot here, and so far he's doing a good job. Good for him. I'm rooting for him. Maybe him and his wife won't have to live in that stadium anymore like they showed on the commercials.
Okay, so gotcha. Right now, the game, it's 20-20 tie between the Jets and the Kansas City Chiefs. Is that what it is, Grump? It's a tie game?
I don't know if it's tied, but I know they just scored a touchdown.
Okay, gotcha. D-cut there, Grump.
So I guess they must have had a 2-point conversion then. D-cut says, haven't heard anything about the Lincoln Riley debate lately. TJ quietly, suspiciously quiet on that subject.
How did they look against Colorado? The team that just got beat by 40 points last week. Hold on, stop. Can you do me a favor? Can you do me a favor? No. I'm telling you what happened. I don't need it's a rhetorical question. How did they look against Colorado, the same team who got beat by 40 fucking points the week before to Oregon?
Really
How did they look against them? They won by 7 points. Whoa, Lincoln Riley. Okay. Thank God they don't have to play Notre Dame. They don't have to play teams like Oregon and Washington the remainder of the year. They are not making the college football playoffs. He's not a good coach. He's a good recruiter. They will lose at least 2 games, and if they make the conference finals, they're going to lose 3.
Okay. Here's the thing. They were up 41-14, and that was with just I think 6 minutes to go in the third, and the defense just took the rest of the game off. That's what happened. And they wound up winning 48-41. Colorado scored a touchdown with a minute left, and then that was it.
They won by 7 points.
Okay. It was okay. They scored right at the end of the game. They were never going to beat USC, and they didn't. Here's the thing. USC has the same problems that Oklahoma had, where they're tremendous offensively, but defensively, they're not that great. Now, they're been better this year
offensively.
They've been better this year defensively. They absolutely have, but, they didn't look great in the fourth quarter yesterday. There is a little bug here I'm going to have to get. I don't like when I see little bugs on the floor. There's one, and he's driving me crazy, and I'm going to stomp it out. See this shoe? It's going to take care of that freaking bug. I want you to listen. There you go. Pain in the ass. He's dead now. Dead. Finished. Don't mess around on my rug, buddy. Go ahead. Okay, here we go. What a film says. I think when you come right down to it, Tony Romo was better than Tom Brady. Romo just didn't have the team or the talent or the wins or the ability or the mental makeup. Other than that, they were very similar. They were right-handed quarterbacks. That's about the extent of it.
So, Grumpy, what's your thoughts on Miles Sanders now?
I think the Panthers' offensive line is not good. And as much as I like Bryce Young and I think he's going to be good, he's not ready yet. He's not. He's not.
He's not as good as C.J. Stroud, like I told you. And he won't be as good as C.J. Stroud. They picked the wrong guy. That's fine. We've had before in the past guys who have selected quarterbacks early who picked the wrong guys. Just ask Miami how that's gone for him. That's it. Good. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Frank the Tank. I've got it pulled up here. Here's Frank the Tank. Thank you for the reminder.
Frank the Tank, you bald-headed jerk.
Here it is. Frank the Tank.
Oh, jeez.
Sorry, Cubs Nation, but the Mets have a bum. A bum named Brett Beatty. A bum who is the worst third baseman in baseball. A bum we refused to trade last year. A bum, a total bum. He can't hit. He can't field. He can't do anything. He is a total bum, a disgrace, a bust.
I guess this is the wrong one from Frank the Tank. Okay,
he's a bum, though. He's a bum.
Frank the Tank is back. Okay, here we go. Here.
Is he a Dolphins fan?
Yes.
10 losses more. The season has been busted and broken. And Tony Romo. Tony fucking Romo. He's the biggest hex of them all. And it's got that pellet dancing. They're dancing. The Dolphins are going to lose next week. They're not going to win another fucking game. This season's a fuck. It's fucked. It's fraudulent. Fraudulent fuck. It's fucked. And Dolphins are not going to. It's over. The dream is dead. I'll never see a team win any game. Well, the Dolphins are frauds.
They lose one fucking game and this guy goes berserk. I do like it when this guy flips the shit.
Was that Alexander?
No, Grumpy, that's not Alexander. Oh, Grumpy, come on, play.
I just think there's a lot of trouble in Dolphin Nation. A lot of people who are Dolphins fans, and I have friends that I know and people I know, family I know, who are Dolphins fans. When they win, I get phone calls. They lose.
What happens if they lose?
I don't know. It's like the phone lines are dead. Like they've disabled communication in this country.
They cut the phone lines, huh, Grump?
Cut the phone lines. Just cut them.
I gotta watch this.
There's Alexander.
I gotta watch this. Alexander. This guy's going berserk. Listen to this.
Well, I can't even understand him.
I know that's kind of what I like about him. It's like the
Dolphins are frauds. That's all we need to hear. Dolphins are frauds.
10 losses or more. The season has been busted and broken. And Tony Romo.
All right.
Gumpy, look at him. He's fighting shit. Gumpy, you know what this is? What would you do if we can get him and We Hoopin' to have a compilation? Oh, my God. Could we somehow find a way to get Frank the Tank to fly out to We Hoopin's attic? With Grumpy, you can moderate them, and they could watch the Ravens against the Miami Dolphins if they were to play each other. Oh, my God, Grumpy, that would be amazing. No matter what, you're going to have an explosive reaction from one of them.
When they get out of hand, do I just hit him with the taser? Bzzz. I'd love to see him twitching on the floor.
Yeah,
that's what I'd like. Put a shot collar on. That's what I'd like to see.
Fuck. All righty, continue along with the comments there, X.
Maybe there won't be any more comments from X. Were you rethinking how amazing Tony Romo was, Grumpy? Golf fights, that's great and potentially dangerous. Thinking how amazing Tony. I never said Tony Romo was great. I know that Sean is a Cowboys fan. You should be happy had they won today. That you should be happy. Don't go back in yesteryear when you were a failure. Think about the future where you're going to be a failure too. But at least in the present, you're also going to be a failure. But right now, you won today. Be happy. Deacon says, did you guys see the beef at the Ryder Cup yesterday? No, did not.
I did not. All I can tell you is this much. Peacock always has issues with their streaming services in the morning. when the Premier League teams play, and apparently it screwed up the Ryder Cup as well, where it's like the audio mismatched on the actual gameplay. So I'm like, ugh, hard to watch.
Drew says, by the way, rest in peace to the most legendary knuckleballer in the history of baseball, Tim Wakefield. He's not the most legendary knuckleballer in baseball history. That was Hoyt Wilhelm and then Phil Negro, not Tim Wakefield. That X, why are you pulling down the comment? I didn't even finish freaking reading it.
He's not paying attention.
He was the only player on the Red Sox that I liked. Yeah, nice guy. It's sad. He's young, 57 years old. I consider that young. When I was a kid, I'm like, man, 57, that's old as shit. What do you mean he's dead? So what? But, as you get older, it's like, man, 57 is not that old. And it's certainly not. Rest in peace, Tim Wakefield.
Yep, absolutely. Now, I wanted to put this one up here because I was able to grab like a little bit of a video, an old video of how he did and this is, damn, I put this in so X could comment in on it, but we'll watch. We'll listen.
Well, why don't we save it for when X? So X.
We're not going to save it for when X is there. So we're just going to watch.
Sorry, X. The timer is spoken.
You want to control the top half of the ball. Let go with your ring finger and your thumb, and push out forward. Ready?
All right, let me see the best.
Let me show you.
Whoops.
Oh, that wasn't a good one. That would have got you out though.
I'll be honest with you. When you watch a knuckleball thrown, you're like, holy shit.
It's dancing. It's like it dances. Any wind takes it. It's like there's no, the thing is there's no spin on the ball, so it can move in any direction.
It doesn't necessarily, when you watch it thrown, you're not like, oh wow, oh my God, I'm shaking that knuckleball. It doesn't look, like when you watch the motion too, it's like, oh, okay, they're just like lobbing one in there. But I mean, you've seen how many times that pitch makes people look like a fool. But like when you watch delivery, it just looks so, it's the reason why this guy pitched until like he was in his 40s, right, Grump?
No, I don't think it was that late. He pitched to his late 30s, but there's no strain on the arm at all. None at all.
It's not like you're getting away with like, oh man, I got to really have a fast pitch here. I mean, he's just like, whoop doop, we're just going for a little Sunday stroll.
Yep.
We'll watch you and hear this clip.
There you go. You got the hang of it?
I think so. Let me see.
Ouch.
Oh, Jesus. That's a bomb. That stays flat.
I can hit that out. Your turn.
This is not going to be fun to watch.
So they just did a little bit of that. Yeah, I was about to say, it was just kind of fun watching him go back and forth there and throw the ball around. So I enjoyed that.
I wonder if X has ever thrown a knuckleball.
If he did, it was probably
Andrew
going forever.
says Zach Wilson is a man possessed tonight. Wouldn't you like to see Zach Wilson be a little bit of a redemption story?
A redemption arc, sure. I mean, like, he's getting shit on by Joe Namath. He's getting shit on across the board. I would like to see a little bit of a redemption arc for him. Sure, why not?
Tony Cheese says, you think TJ would talk about an offensive lineman like he does T. Higgins? The answer is freaking no. The answer is no. TJ has a love for those fat slobs on the offensive line. He was one. So absolutely, you'll never hear him badmouth an offensive lineman. Wide receivers, they're fair game. Quarterbacks, running backs, defensive backs in particular, all fair game. Offensive linemen, never a bad thing to say. They're all great.
Sometimes I'll tear into, when I see bad offensive line play, I'll tear into it. Come on, though.
What was the last time you called out? I try to rip Mekhi Becton, and all you do is protect him. You see him play shitty, and you make excuses for him. Shame on you, TJ. Big shame. Okay. Drew says, well, I know Aaron Rodgers always played on shrooms. Maybe Zach Wilson is on shrooms tonight. I hope not.
Hey, if it's helping him throw the football around, I guess.
Joseph C. say, it just sucks Wilson can't put the mental aspect of the game together because he has all the physical tools. Well, maybe he's just maturing later than other people are. It's possible. Tony Cheese says, no one talks about Zach Wilson seeing a sports psychologist. Is he? I don't know.
I didn't know that. Okay.
Neither did I. Maybe you should get a new psychologist.
Well, maybe it's helping him out. Who knows?
Maybe he's going to one who's different sports. Drew says, I was right on Tampa, but I didn't expect them to play this good so far. Neither did I. Talking about Baker Mayfield. Gungu says, TJ and Grumpy, I challenge you to both put on your thinking caps and predict the final score of the Jets game. I think it'll be like over 41 points. I think that'll be for certain over the game. I'm just going to say the Jets are going to win. Why not? Isn't it more fun? I want to see Taylor Swift cry. That's what I want to see.
No, she's not going to cry.
Her come down and console Travis Kelce. Drew says, by the way, I know Puka Nacua is breaking records, but I don't think people are giving Matt Stafford the credit he deserves. Stafford's been great this season. I agree. He's done a really nice job.
Flexor strain too.
Say that again. I'm sorry.
He had a little bit of a hip flexor strain today, apparently too.
I did not know.
I'm predicting the score to be 42-35 Chiefs.
It's not going to be 42-35.
How much time's left in the third quarter?
7 minutes. It's 2020.
Wow, Grumpy must have been channeling his inner like telepathic thoughts there, Grumpy.
Yes,
there it is.
7 minutes. Tie game. Wilson with a 2-point conversion.
Okay.
Zach attack. Yeah, go. Come on, go Jets. No one wants the Chiefs to win, unless you're from Kansas City.
All right, I'll put the comments up since Zach's not doing that. Andrew L says here, best game for Zach Wilson's career right now. And Freeze Warning says, TJ, USC plays Oregon and Washington this year? Yes.
And Notre Dame. And Utah. Here's the thing. They have the toughest schedule. No, Utah's good. Utah's really good.
They just lost to Oregon State. So
they still have
Utah, they lost.
Oregon State's good too. The Pac-12 has been really good this year. USC has the toughest schedule in the country this year. And here's the thing. I don't think they're going there. I definitely don't think they're going undefeated. I think there's a great possibility to lose a couple of games. I would have felt better if they would have played better defensively against Colorado in the fourth quarter. I thought I don't know what happened. They just kind of fell asleep. It's like, we got a big lead. We're just going to go in cruise control. And I mean, it didn't almost cost them, but it's like it cost you with the voters. That's for certain. Drew says, TJ gets all butthurt when D-Cut trolls him. TJ throws more tantrums than a 6-year-old.
True.
Freeze Warning says, USC also plays Notre Dame, so you'll get to comment on all those 3 teams. Ha ha.
There it is.
Ha!
Tony Cheese.
Tony Cheese says, fire TJ, hire Zach Wilson.
Okay. They spoke.
No. Joseph C says there's something mentally wrong with Frank Fleming, the guy in the video. I agree too. He's crazy. Something wrong with him.
He's a maniac. Menace.
Drew says Zach Wilson looks like Jordan Love if he was an accurate passer. I don't know. Jordan Love is not really accurate either. So, Andrew L says Frank the Tank might fall through Wee Hoopin's attic.
Oh God. Yeah.
JP says I was really hoping Buck would win a title before he retired. Life ain't always fair. Yeah, he never won a World Series. Drew says, so Grumpy, you basically called TJ a fat slob since he played offensive line. Nah, not true. TJ was okay. Most offensive linemen are guys who are a little overweight. Let's be fair.
We're usually the swimsuit models. Thank you very much, Grumpy. And we take offense to those statements.
What you see when guys like that retire, they either go one way, totally off the reservation, or they lose a whole lot of weight. That's what winds up happening.
True.
Gungu says, Grumpy, what will it take for you to consider getting a Zach Wilson tattoo? That's not happening. I won't get it. I'm too much of a freaking weenie to get a damn tattoo. I'm not having anybody stick little needles in the arm. That's not happening. No. Tony Chi says, no talks about how he should see a sports psychologist. I don't know. I don't know if the guy has a shrink. He doesn't know. I don't know either. Maybe he does. Maybe he doesn't. I don't know.
So Chandler, X mailed it in tonight. Poor effort.
Wow. Yeah. Two shots against X today by D-Cut.
I do want to talk about this. Now, X sent this to me beforehand. I'm happy he did. Chandler Jones was arrested this week
I feel
in
bad
Vegas for I think he had a restraining order against him.
Is this Chandler Jones? Is
Yes.
this Chandler Jones? Look at his eyes.
Just wait, you'll see.
Oh,
but
boy.
he was arrested. I think they had he went ahead and was stealing items from somebody who had a restraining order against him, something like that. I think his baby mom or somebody he or an ex-lover or something like that.
Oh, boy.
And he was cut from the Raiders this week. So this was a video that was made shortly thereafter.
Look at his eyes.
Wait, they don't know what happened with Aaron Hernandez?
Okay. He was going live and answering questions there.
He's got crazy eyes.
Wait, they don't know what happened with Aaron Hernandez and Josh McDaniels. All right, y'all.
Oh,
y'all thought Chico killed himself in jail? Y'all thought my nigga Chico killed himself in jail?
oh boy.
Oh.
My goodness. I feel bad for him.
Oh.
I don't know what.
Wait, they don't know what happened.
I don't know what's going on with Chandler Jones, but
I feel bad for him. I feel bad for him.
I do too. He needs to find some sort of help.
I mean, I feel bad for. I legitimately feel bad for him. I mean, he had an issue a few years ago when he was in New England where he took, I think he smoked marijuana or something for the first time, and he was like naked. He went to a police station because he couldn't handle it. He didn't know the way it affected him. He went to a police station and he was like naked or just like in a pair of underwear. And it's like, I just feel bad for him. He's obviously got something going on. I hope he gets help because he seems like a truly nice person. And I don't know. I feel that you see him, somebody like that, they obviously need some type of help. I hope he gets it. I feel terrible for him.
Yeah.
Go ahead, TJ. Why don't you show us your empathy and go ahead. What do you think? What do you think about that?
I told you, right? I told you as it was happening. I'm like, I hope he gets help. He obviously needs help. He's obviously having some sort of mental breakdown or some sort of issue. I mean, like he goes from talking about he's going to reveal a conspiracy and then just starts hysterically crying as he's addressing people at, the week as to when he was cut after he's trying to steal from an ex-lover where he has the restraining order against. There's obviously some mental issues going on right now with the guy. So, you hope he finds the help he needs because he seriously does need help. And maybe he already has. I don't know. That was a clip from about 3 or 4 days ago. So you just hope he's found some sort of help.
Tony Chi says, way to bring down the mood of the podcast, X.
Yeah,
he needs
X
Jesus.
Didn't do that.
He needs some help. Drew says, it's such a war crime that the Raiders cut famous Mac Jones stiff armor, Chandler Jones. Now this is what Chandler Jones is doing. Shame on the Raiders. Now Chandler Jones is Antonio Brown 2.0.
Oh, gosh. Hold on a second. Here you go.
D-Cut says, what was that really Chandler Jones or was it Renee after today's Fins game? No, it was not.
Oh, God. Alexander sent us a few memes or a few little videos.
Over now. Keep me coming back for more.
Tony Romo. When he announces Josh Allen games. Hold on, is he like? Are you trying to say like he's very favorable to Josh Allen?
I think that's what most fans do when their team loses. They blame the announcers.
The announcer now is to blame.
And I've got to say, in all honesty, it's the biggest piece of dog shit. And I've got.
Hold on, Josh Allen is 3 or 4 times the quarterback that Tua is. Please,
6
please
times.
don't tell me. No,
6 times.
please. That might be underselling it a little bit. Oh, okay. Alexander agrees. He says yes. Okay. He does agree that Josh Allen is about at least 3 times the quarterback that Tua is. I'm glad. Well, that's good. That's good.
Acknowledgement. It's the first step to recovery. No, he's not. Now he says he's not.
You're flip-flopping. I don't know what's going on there. What other starred comments we have there? Drew L. Grumpy.
By the way, how was that London game earlier? Arthur Smith makes it hard to watch the Falcons. They're like the Islanders of the NFL.
They suck. Desmond Ritter's bad. That Falcons team is bad.
They are. They're bad. They can run the ball though, and they play solid defense. That's not good enough. Here's the thing: they would have been a team that could have contended in 2000. Not now. Game's different. Game's totally different.
Drew L. Grumpy.
Desmond Ridder is actually the worst starting quarterback. As much as we shit on Fields and Wilson, there's a lot of bad quarterbacks in the league. A lot.
Yep. D-Cat Grump.
OJ was at the Bill game today. Find that tweet.
Yeah, I actually had that. I listened to this beforehand.
Oh my
I
God!
think it's after. Here's the before.
Jesus.
Here's the before. Hold on. Here's the before. I knew there was two of them. Listen to both of them.
How does he get in the box?
That's exactly the point people in the comments were making. Was like, was he invited by the team to the box, or is
All
he
I know
paying?
is it better not be somewhere where they have like your own carving station, because I don't want him handling a freaking knife.
Oh my God! Let's listen to him.
Yours truly.
Yours truly here.
Oh,
I've been waiting for. He always says at the beginning of every single one. Yours truly here. Yes, Grumpy. Every single video.
Did he get his name changed from OJ to yours truly? That's why I want to know. It's yours truly again.
Here. Yours truly here.
This one, but as I've told you for the last 2 months, I'm afraid of the Dolphins. Speed kills these guys. Man, I'll never forget Tariq at Kansas City at the end of that game, catching that short across the middle pass and taking it to the house. Oh my God. In any event, I truly believe whoever wins this game, at least for now, they're the best team in football. So I'm hoping my Bills make it happen. USC yesterday, they held on. I will be critical of whoever's coaching that defense. And I don't understand if you 3 touchdowns up while you're throwing long passes. To me, it makes no sense. Rely on the running back at that time. In any event, here we are. Here I am back in Buffalo. We used to call it the Big Waffle, WUFO, at a stadium. You know, when this stadium opened 50 years ago, that year was my 2,000-yard year. First year that this stadium opened. It's hard to believe it was that long ago. They're about to tear it down. It's so sad.
How many drinks do you think he's in? I mean, like, I've never seen a guy jump to so many topics incoherently at the same time before. Talking about first. Go ahead.
When they cut his brain open, CTE, right?
I figure, right? And that's,
I don't know if this stadium opened 50 years ago, 1973. Maybe it did. I don't know.
The way I look at this, he starts off talking about how the Dolphins are scary, then how the Bills, right? Whoever wins is going to be the toughest team. Well, then we're going to jump really quickly to USC. Yeah, I'm upset they're throwing these long footballs. And then, oh, man, I've read a 2,000-yard season the first year this place opened. He's like jumping all over the place. Incoherent thoughts, slurred words.
Yours truly.
Now, he did have – the only reason I'm asking how drunk do you think he is, because the next video is him at the bar, so –
Hey, X-World, it's yours truly at the airport. Get ready to head back home. But what a treat it was being here in Buffalo this week. Believe it or not, terrific restaurants, greatest people, having a little libration. Sorry, Dolphins. 70 against nobody. We got a Dolphin back here. Sorry, Dolphins. What a weekend that's for. What really happy with USC's win, but they won. I'm not giving up that many points. But hey, go Bills tonight, go Niners. God bless, guys.
He just had to remind you that he wasn't very happy with the way that USC won again.
He was not happy. He's not happy.
All the comments are like, it's weird to see. You know what's weird? Is when you start to see people defending him, where people are like, they're like, oh, he's a convicted murderer. It's like, well, actually, he's not convicted. He was not convicted.
He was not convicted of murder.
And then you start getting people who defend him in the comments, like, hey, man, OJ's already done enough, blah, blah, blah. It's just weird to kind of see how people battle in between the comments over OJ's presumed innocence.
Can you not see, though, honestly, you listen to him talk, you could see why he was popular back in the day.
Yeah.
Very affable. I mean, everyone liked OJ. I can't. for younger people, OJ was like a hero to everyone. OJ Simpson. What was that noise?
The cat jumped up here and started hitting a shit ton of buttons on my screen. So go ahead, continue. I'm sorry, Grumpy. Yeah,
OJ was like, I mean, he was like one of the most popular athletes in the United States for certain. Everyone knew OJ Simpson. Everyone, the Hertz commercials, the movies, all this stuff. I mean, it was stunning when, and his thing, everyone knows he killed those two people, convicted or not. But you look at him here, you just listen to him talk. It's like, I'd like to have a conversation with him. I mean, he seems very, very approachable. Certainly does. Just, he did what he did. He absolutely, no doubt in my mind that he killed him. Talk about a botched defense attorney. About a botched prosecutor. How do you? Oh my gosh!
Wow,
bring us back to Alexander. Allen is overrated. I mean, unless you're saying he's Tom Brady, then I'd say yes, he's overrated. Other than that, he's not.
Yeah,
overrated compared to who? Compared to what?
He's a top 5 quarterback in the NFL. Year in, year out. I mean, it's just I don't think there's any way to dispute that at this point.
What I like about Buffalo this year, they're more diversified. James Cook running the ball makes them a better team.
And Damian Harris. They have
he doesn't get a whole lot of touches. It's James Cook.
He's a guy who can earn tough yards.
Yeah.
That's why I like Damian Harris. So instead of having to do Josh Allen right, Josh Allen left, Josh Allen middle, it's Damian Harris left, Damian Harris right, Damian Harris middle if they've got to earn some tough yards. So you're not going to rely upon him. Think about it. How many times has Josh Allen run the football this year?
I don't know. He's had a rushing touchdown today from the 11. He's like, screw it, I'm going. I'd like to see him win. I'd like to see him win. I like Josh Allen. I do. Who was the first person on the Josh Allen train? You remember, TJ?
You and everybody else.
It was me. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Alex says yes to Tony Romo. Okay. D-Cut says Zach Wilson has reverted back to being Zach Wilson in these last 2 drives. Kind of reminds me of Tua today. Uh-oh.
Dun, 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 dun.
Controlling your pussycat, TJ.
There it is. I'll try better. Just to show you the difference of how frequently they used him in a run. Now, I'm not sure how many times he ran this today, but look at the years past. 122 rushing attempts, 124 rushing attempts, 102, 109, pretty much 100 attempts plus every single year.
12.
12. He's averaging 4 a game right now instead of averaging, almost 8 or 9 a game.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. Like, you're going to have a guy who's healthier, who's fresher come postseason time. He's not asked to freaking play hero ball as much, and I think that's when he's going to play better.
I agree. Because then when he does run, it's like, holy shit.
Yep. Absolutely there, Grump. What other comments do we have there, X?
All I'm going to say is if somehow my fantasy team wins in this league this week, that's the ultimate embarrassment for Aaron G. My team had 2 injuries. So did mine. Gungu says, Grumpy, would you invite OJ over to your house for tea and crumpets? No. I wouldn't mind meeting him in a bar, get him drunk, and have him tell me how he killed Nicole and Ron Goldman. He'd tell me. He would. I get him. Yeah, it's all right, man. It's cool. It's a long time ago, right? Everyone's forgiven. But I mean, dude, that was some slash you got. You practically cut her head off, man. Was it just one quick slice? I mean, how did that happen? Tell me. And did you slip on the blood? I mean, I had to be slippy out there. I know you had a couple knee injuries, but man, you're the juice. How'd you maneuver around that slippery terrain when you were trying to get out of that area?
Yeah. Sure, Grump. But hey, let's wrap things up here today.
Okay.
Number one, thank you, Grumpy, for being a part of the show as always. Thank you, X, for starring a few comments. Get your freaking microphone fixed there, Son X, and get that shit riding in the correct direction. But Grumpy, what do you want to say before we wrap things up here today?
I want to say love and laughter to everyone who listens and even those who don't. From TJ and the Grumpy Old Man and Son X, wherever he is. And I know what he wants to say. He's like, hey, thanks everyone for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Here he is. X, do you want to say thanks for watching?
Thanks for watching.
What the fuck?
What the hell?
Is it working?
Is this
Yes,
a
it's
fucking
working.
joke? This bastard just didn't want to fucking do anything today. Look at this shit.
Dude, it literally didn't work at all at the beginning.
Look at this guy. Look at his ass. He probably did some shit, some Jimmy
I didn't
Jack
do
shit
anything.
to make sure he didn't have to go ahead and do anything. He didn't want to work tonight, Grumpy. He's over there watching TV. Look at this. Look at this. Well, thanks for joining in, Son X. Thanks for finally joining in. Glad to know that.
Anything you want to say to the people?
Well, I was hoping you were going to talk about Joe Burrow. I think I put in some stuff on that, and then
We did.
No, I mean that was pretty much about it.
Okay. We also did the video on Tim Wakefield throwing the knuckleball.
Oh, the knuckleball. Yeah, Big Poppy's knuckleball would have been killed. Tim Wakefield.
Did you ever throw a knuckleball? Could you throw a knuckleball?
I didn't know. I really didn't know how to throw a knuckleball. Not really. I wasn't a pitcher though.
Yeah.
I can't believe this son of a bitch the entire time had the audio where it could work. Look at this.
I didn't know.
He knew.
I was about to say, I'm calling bullshit on it too. I'm calling him out on this one too, Grumpy. There it is. Goon says here, over the past 10 years or so, are the Jets the kings of the near game altering plays that fall just short?
I don't know if they're the Kings, but they sure do have a lot of those.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll wrap things up here. Thanks so much, everybody, for watching. Thanks, Son X, for starring a few comments for us. Thanks for finally getting your microphone fixed. And thank you, Grumpy, as always.
My pleasure.
Thanks, everybody, for commenting, and thanks for all the engagement, as always. Thanks so much. And that's a good way to end things because it's F grade
for X.
Absolutely. Thanks so much, guys. We'll see you guys this Thursday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thanks so much, everybody, for watching.